You want to make a YouTube video, but you have no idea what to actually say? Stick around. I'm going to map it all out for you and give you exactly what to say. If we're just meeting and you're all about growing your real estate business by referral without sacrificing your life and your family, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I give you all the scoop on how to do it. By the end of this video, you're going to have the exact structure on how to lay out your video and what to say at each point to keep people involved and stick through the entire video. I know it works because it's the exact formula that I've used on this channel to get the over 4,000 subscribers that we have and keep people highly engaged throughout the videos. I owe some of the steps from Sunny Lenarduzzi and Nick Nimmin. They're both great YouTube resources if you want to check them out. The very first thing in your video is your hook. You want to do that before you introduce yourself or anything. The hook is what gets people interested in watching your video. I'm going to give you an example right now, and you can rewind the video and see what I did in the beginning of this video. We're going to pretend like this video that I'm going to give you a hook for is all about doing a tour of a town in your neighborhood. It's one of the several topics that I suggested to do in this video here. So your hook for a tour would look like this. If you're moving to Maryland and you want a waterfront neighborhood that's affordable and still an easy commute to Baltimore or DC, make sure you take this tour with me about Bowley's Quarters. It's one of the most underrated waterfront communities in Maryland. You want to put right up front what's exciting about this and come take this tour with me. Why would they be interested in this exact neighborhood? And what's unique about it? You want it to be short and impactful. After you do the hook, you go into the intro, and that's where you introduce yourself. You ask them to subscribe and tell them why it's valuable to them to subscribe to your channel. You have to make sure that you describe in just a couple of words why they're going to get value out of subscribing to your channel. If you're doing a tour of a Maryland neighborhood, we'll assume that your channel is about Maryland. So I'm going to do it based off of that. If you've dropped by for the first time, my name's Alicia Crostel, and if you're all about learning about Maryland, learning a lot of things about real estate and where the best places are to live, eat, and play, make sure you hit subscribe and I'll share all the details with you. See how it was not, hey, it's Alicia Crostel, welcome back to my channel. We're going to talk about Maryland. I hope you like it. It's very specific. You're going to learn about Maryland, where to live, where the best places are to eat and play. You're telling them this is the value you're getting for subscribing to my channel. I'm promising that I'm going to deliver you this information, and this is why you should subscribe. So you've got your hook to get them interested. You've got your intro so they know who you are and why they're subscribing to the channel. And now you're going to tee up what the actual video is going to be about. Here's what the tee up would look like for this video. By the end of this video, you're going to know everything you need to know about Bowley's Quarters, how long it takes to get to commute to the cities, and where are the best places to eat. And also the one thing you need to look out for if you're thinking of moving here. You're also going to add why you're the expert to give them this information. So that looks like this. I'm so excited to share with you what I've learned over my 13 years living in Bowley's Quarters and selling real estate here as well. So you have hook, intro, tee up your video, what they're going to get, and now you're going to move on to your actual points of the video. Let your audience know about 3 or 4 things that they need to know about that neighborhood. Whatever specifically they really need to know, valuable information that someone who doesn't live there would really appreciate. After you give those points, you're going to ask a question. And when you ask the question, you want to make it as simple as possible because people's brains, they're in the middle of your video, they do not want to process a lot of information. So you have to make it as easy as possible for them to answer. For example, an easy question would be, are you watching from Maryland today or are you moving from out of state? Or simply, what state are you moving from if you're not from Maryland? And then you know right in the comments who's not from Maryland. It not only gives you engagement and a way for you to respond to them and something to talk about when they say they're from a different state or if they say they're from Maryland, it also gives you engagement on your video, and YouTube loves when they see comments underneath your video. After you ask the question, you go back and you say the rest of your points that you wanted to tell them about that neighborhood. After you've wrapped up the final points that you want to say about the neighborhood, you do not land the plane. Do not tell them this is the last point or there you go, you know all about Bowley's Quarters. You do not want to do that because that makes them click right off your video. You want to do another ask and then refer, which will look like this. If you've gotten some valuable information so far about Bowley's Quarters, make sure you give a thumbs up to the video so I know this is content you guys like to like. And if you're looking for waterfront specifically in Baltimore County, make sure you check out my video on Sparrows Point. It is a great neighborhood also. You see how that was a quick ask, but it also sent them to another valuable video that they could watch. Make sure you're referring a video that makes sense. Like you wouldn't want at that point to say, oh, if you want your tips on how to sell your house, make sure you check out this video. Do it as relevant as you can possibly think of, because that will help the flow and just have them continue watching more of your videos. I do have a bonus tip for you guys if you're making videos and doing neighborhood tours. When you're mapping out what you're going to say and what neighborhood you're going to do, split your piece of paper that you're writing in half. Just draw a line right in the middle, and on one side put audio, which is what you're going to say, the points that you're going to make, and on the other side put your video, what you're going to record. Maybe you need specifically the clubhouse of somewhere. Make sure you put that next to the audio that you have, so you have all of the clips you need. And I highly recommend you taking your camera, having someone drive, and you just photographing, videoing through the neighborhood very simply. It does not have to be complicated. You do not have to be a professional. So you have video of the actual neighborhood matching up with when you're talking about the neighborhood. Please don't underestimate the value of your video going around the neighborhood, because imagine if you didn't live somewhere and you couldn't see it with your own eyes. Actually seeing a regular video, not one that's a professional or an advertisement of that neighborhood, is invaluable. That's what you're providing them, an invaluable resource to that neighborhood. If this video has helped you feel more comfortable setting up your next video and doing it, please make sure you get a thumbs up so I know to make content for you guys like this. And if you want to know exactly what topics to make sure you check out the last video I made all about exactly what videos to make. Hitting the subscribe button is a good idea too.